sound. What the hell's up with that? Well, crap, I don't know sign language, so I'm going to read my lips. Well, my sound is on, but apparently it's not registering here. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me. My sound is on, but apparently it's not registering here. Okay. So there you go. I'm going to assume that we are on and we are live, and I'm just going to keep going. It would be nice if I could see that my voice is registered, but we'll just have to take my own word for it, I guess. I don't know if, I guess this is the one viewer that I have is me viewing myself, so that I can keep checking my sound. But other than that, hey, I think I'm good to go. So technical difficulties aside, yeah, thanks for coming back with me. I'm sorry that we had a small technical encounter, but apparently things are up and running. My screen just shows that my sound's not working. You know, more than likely, this is due to the age of my computer and the speed at which it runs, and the discontinuity between the programs. YouTube is probably running at a newer version of something, and I'm running on an older version of stuff. So it's going to be key to do this online stuff in having a new computer. That's it. While my daughter's going to be giving me her laptop, her Apple, it's about 5 or 6 years old, I believe, right? So it's going to none too fast for the internet either. What I think I'm going to have to do is get another one of these little Acer computers and let it be my main online computer, and then just use this computer here and my daughter's Apple for production. But if I can have devices, designated specifically for jobs, I think it's going to free up the speed at which I can do things. Have things going on, get things together on one computer and let that simmer and process and save and do everything, and then go to another computer and work on something else while that is happening, or go live, or be live and have the ability to work on videos and share stuff with you on occasion. And that would be pretty cool. Yeah, and I need to get I need to get my webcam here set up in a way that I can share more with you in my room here. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to show all of you, and aside from taking it up and holding it in front of the camera, there's not much I can do. I've got another older camera here. It's got wires on it and stuff as well, so I really can't do much free roaming with video cameras at this point. Kind of a bummer. What are you gonna do, eh? Yeah, I mean, I could have just let the show go when technical difficulties canceled me out, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and keep plugging away at this, and for the life of me, I can't remember where I left off. I know that I'm not going to mute this thing anymore via the on-screen mute button. That seems to be where I'm having most of my technical difficulties. When I mute the YouTube screen, it seems to fail after that. My screen got really glitchy, and then I couldn't come back. My programs were all screwed up. I almost shut the computer down and rebooted before I came back. And I probably should, because I'm still not registering any sound. I can hear myself on YouTube, but I'm not registering any sound on the little sound meter. And that's a bummer, because that's how I know that I'm being heard. And I can't see that, so it makes me question, and I keep picking up my phone. But anyway, you know what? I'm just having too much fun lately, and it's all thanks to my wife, especially, just for seeing the need in me, I guess, to have to. I mean, it's probably, you know, most guys, it's probably like a midlife crisis. I don't expect that this is like half my life. So the midlife crisis, that's something like I would have had back at 30. And probably did. I think that's back when I was dating and was thinking about getting a motorcycle, and thinking about doing all kinds of weird stuff that was really out of character for me. I wanted to get into real estate and housing development and rental properties, and I was doing all kinds of research and seminar and studying, and I was literally going to go out and get a real estate license and bring my credit up so that I could purchase a home and then rent it out, right? And then do it again and again and again and again until I had, you know, an exorbitant amount of rental properties. And that's not me. I'm not one who wants to own a bunch of property. You can't own property, man. And you know, it's just, I kept finding myself doing all of these things that weren't me to try to impress the rest of the world, right? And I was doing nothing, absolutely nothing, to impress myself. You know, I had a great job, and I was in charge of a lot of people, and I had a lot of responsibility, and there were creative aspects to this job, but just wasn't me. You know, it just wasn't me. And I just had to, you know, I had to find, this is me. This is what I'm doing now. You know, pretty much everything in the last 15 years since we moved out here, everything since then has started to become me. Everything has pushed me in the direction that I'm at now. You know, it was like probably 10 or 11 years ago that I first started this YouTube channel, Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy, right? And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. It's like, you have to sign up. You have to in order to subscribe to stuff, you got to sign up. It's like, okay, I'll sign up. Well, who are you? Well, I'm just a crazy old weird bearded guy, right? And that's how it started. And then it was like, okay, well, maybe I can make some videos. And I actually made a couple of videos that I never uploaded. I never edited. I was in school at the time, so I never really had the time to sit and fiddle with it. And I didn't have the computer savvy that I have now, even though it's still very limited. And it just never coagulated, right? It just never gelled. And then after my father passed away, and I was given these videos from his college days. And then I had to buy a machine to watch those videos. And I haven't watched them all yet. And I haven't uploaded them yet. I haven't processed them or anything. And it's one of those things where, you know, I viewed a few pieces of it, but I mean, I really have to get my head together to sit and upload 9 hours in 20 to 60-minute chunks. And basically I've got to get the machines wired up and everything properly through the proper program on my computer so that it will actually read what's coming through and then record it. And once I get that set up, then it's a matter of putting a tape in, hitting play, hitting record, and letting it happen, right? And at this point,
and letting it happen, right?
And
at this point, and letting it happen, right?
Sorry, I hope I'm not going round and round with the sound. I had to check that, but I've got to sit down and upload all of these videos into my computer, which means also having the hard drive space, and then breaking each video into its portions, because each video contains more than one thing. And then I'll probably start off with there's one video that's just a random video with somebody else's project on it, mostly some interview stuff, some stock footage, and I'll probably start with that one and upload that one first as a test. Once I can get it into my computer and then over and put some opening and closing on it and then upload it. That'll probably be one of my first U-matic tape uploads, because I've got a lot of family stuff and I keep procrastinating. I keep putting it off. I keep the idea of using it has gone through so many different modifications and changes and so many different angles that I can use it. And it's like, well, how do I best use this material? Because I could just put some boilerplate stuff on the front and back and then upload it, like I did with his reel-to-reels, my father's reel-to-reel old radio shows. But I think it because I'm actually in the tapes and my brother's there, my father is no longer with us, but if I could get and do some, view it, but also have some opening with my brother and I talking about it. And then maybe do a version where we have commentary through it. Doing this with him so far away is really difficult. The watching, the commentary, the back and forth. We'd have to do it via satellite, and then he'd have to be watching what's on my screen, and the processor and the speed just doesn't. So I don't see that kind of thing happening easily. So, pardon me. Ooh, excuse me. So once again, I procrastinate because if I upload it onto my computer, I'm going to be tempted to use it right away. And if I use it right away in the wrong format, in the wrong segment, if I use it in the wrong style, then I'm just jerking off. I'm just wasting my time. So I really need to have a plan. And I just don't know what that plan is yet. It's easy to deal with the concert footage, right? Because I was there. I have emotion attached to it, memory attached to it. So when I put together some concert footage and build a video around that, I see a lot of concert footage out there where at the most somebody will put up a little bit of text and say, this is who this is. But it's very limited, whereas my concert videos, they will have up to a minute, not usually, but usually 10 to 20, 30 seconds of a beginning where I'm saying, hey, this is the song, this is the artist, this is where we're at. And if not at the beginning, I'll do it at the end, where it's like it was shot on this night in this place, and this is the artist, and and anything else that I can add. And usually I will try to add artist information, their website, where you can go to buy their music and merchandise. They're allowing me to use their music, right, to create a video about them. So, at the least, I should try to share their information because it's their stuff, right? And if I can get somebody to go out and buy one of their albums, because I made this cool concert video and they didn't know, wow, I could just click this and wow, look, I'm shopping, and if I can get somebody to buy something from one of my favorite artists, then I know that I'm helping that artist. So yeah, it's like at the open mic when Tommy says we have t-shirts, I'm like, buy a t-shirt. I did. I'll wear it the next time I go out to open mic, expecting they're going to be there because they're always there. Every time I go to an open mic, there they are. They drive all the way out from Hemet. They have over an hour drive to get out here to this area to go to open mic. Crap. I have to get on Instagram and find out. They're going to Carlsbad, I believe, to play in a club. I've got friends down there, so I want my friends to check out Tommy Tom if at all possible. I wish I'd been paying attention last night when Tommy mentioned that they were. Okay, maybe I have it on record. I recorded them last night, and I recorded her up until the end when she said we have t-shirts. I'm pretty sure I recorded her telling us where they were going to be. At least I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. If not, maybe I can find it out on Instagram. I did start an Instagram account so that I could contact Bridget and Iris, two phenomenal artists in their own right. And then when they come together to do stuff, it's just, they're like the female Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. Really, I mean, it's just beautiful, beautiful music. I'm fingers crossed again that Bridget and Iris make it back out to the desert soon, and I can get involved with them doing something, even if it's just recording their stuff and making them a nice video for them to have to share, and then give me your mailing address so I can put it onto a thumb drive and get it to you, so you physically have a video that you can put in, upload onto your own computer, right? And then use as your video, right? I'll have it on my YouTube, but now you've got your video to put up onto your stuff, and all I want is, that connection, to me, the human connection is right, like the most important thing in my life right now, making a connection before the contacts all burn out, right? And if I can spend the remainder of my life just making positive connections with people, then I'm all good, baby. Let me check my sound again. Hello?
Let me check my sound.
There you go. I'm sound. So I'm going to do this here, Bong Hit. So I want to apologize for the technical interruptions we had the last hour. Sometime during our second hour, the sound failed after I muted my channel here. I had to run off to the call of nature. And so I muted it. And when I came back and unmuted it, it just would not cooperate. So if I can get things to work right again, because sound is not being monitored here. If I can get things to work right again, I'm not going to mute via the screen anymore. I'll just slide my volume down over here, so that way I'm still live. You just can't hear me. But yeah, back to the Tommy Tom show. I'll have to find out for sure where they are performing down in Carlsbad, and then share that information so that my friends down there hopefully will get a chance to go check them out. And if I can get Stephen down there, and he's a musician, so I'll say his last name, Stephen Blake. He needs gigs. All right, he does a great Hendrix tribute. What is that? White Stripes tribute. He does a lot of great original stuff as his original band, D-Verb. Not Reverb, but D-Verb. In the late 90s, early 2000s, he was in a band called Sand Jacket. Just like it sounds, Sand Jacket. And they were a regular, not just in Carlsbad, where they were from, all over Carlsbad and Oceanside, San Diego area, but they were a really big regular up in Mammoth Lakes, California, up on the Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort area. And my friend Andy, who is now Andrew, who managed the bar La Sierras, was in charge of the talent and bringing talent, and he would bring up Sand Jacket as often as he could. And that's where I met Sand Jacket through another Andrew who knew them from his days living in Carlsbad. So yeah, definitely Stephen Blake. If I could get Tom Show to get together with D-Verb down there and try and get some kind of intercultural exchange thing, and try to get, it's like, let's get Tom down there more, but let's try to get D-Verb up here. All right. I've been trying for a year to get D-Verb up here. They're going through changes in the band right now, looking for a drummer, I believe. But I've been really trying to get, putting once I get my cards right, and I can get information on specific groups, right, and specific artists, it's going to be easier to get a back and forth with artists and venues, right? And say, hey, look, these are my friends, as well as a very competent and well-rehearsed veteran group. Can we get them up here? Can you give them a shot? And I would definitely try to get my friend up here to help me go around and network the area, here and in Palm Springs. Between here, the high desert, and down in Palm Springs, which is about an hour's worth of driving from one end to the other. There's bound to be a way to get D-Verb up here and get them on stage somewhere, right? I would go out of my way to try to get them a decent wage, as well as a place to stay, right? So that they could come out here and not have to, like, okay, every dime that we make, we're going to have to spend in order to stay here. That wouldn't work out financially, and it wouldn't be good business sense, and it wouldn't be logical, right? So Tom Show, they drive all the way out here back and forth, on top of their other jobs, right? So and Stephen from D-Verb, I believe he works at a music store and teaches music like most working musicians. They usually have a job somewhere. Sometimes they're lucky enough that they have a regular job that has to do with music. Charles, a friend of mine from grade school, is one of those. He's lucky enough to still have his involvements with music in the music industry and teaching music and playing music. even though I don't think he's in a band. You know, you get to that point where it's like, you know, I don't need a band, man. I just need to go out and play once in a while, and for somebody to pay me to go out and play once in a while, and teach and that kind of thing. But it, you know, it would be nice to have a network of friends that you know who are musicians, and then be able to kind of pull them together every once in a while for a gathering and say, okay, look, you know, let's work on these specific jams, you know, and get, you know, get out of our heads, get out of a box, get into something new that's not us. You know, I was listening to some, God, it was, what the hell was I listening to yesterday? I listened to some Redbone, and then before that, I listened to some ELO, and then some Lucas Nelson. And I was listening to one of these songs, and I found myself, oh, maybe it was in the van listening to Harry Styles, Harry's House. So I'm listening to one of these songs. I'm pretty sure now, thinking of it, it was Harry Styles, one of these songs, and I'm singing it to myself out loud in the van driving down the road. And I hear Nina from open mic the other day, and I hear her voice come in and start singing backup behind me, right? And then at some point, I start singing backup out loud, and in my head, I hear Nina singing lead, right? And I'm like, wow, that would be fantastic if I were a singer, right? And I could do that kind of a duet with someone. Nina would put me to shame, but I heard my voice, and it sounded the way I wanted it to sound. And then I heard Nina's voice in my head, and she just has a set of pipes that's unbelievable. And I hope to encounter her again as soon as possible, and hopefully with my new cards, so that I can, you know, present myself professionally and say, hey, look, you know, I could take video from a phone and create something for you to last a lifetime, right? And all I ask in trade is the ability, the right to do it, you know, the desire by you to see it done, and something. I hate it when that happens, when you get something like paint or a burn or something on your flannel. That sucks. But I mean, just to have the you know, to have somebody to want me to make them a video, and for me to be able to post it on my channel, that right there is enough payment at this point in this hobby, because that's all this is. This whole music, the videos, the channel, the live stuff, it's all just my hobby. Granted, I'm throwing a lot of myself into my hobby right now, but it's just a hobby. You know, it's a huge part of who I am, but nonetheless, it's just a hobby. You know, I'm not trying to run a business. I made cards, right, so that people, so that I could get people to come on my live Friday night show, or so I could get people to let me do videos for them. I didn't think, you know, at any time that I was doing this and I'm going to charge X amount per, you know, that's never entered into my head. You know, capitalizing on this has never come into the picture. The only thing that I'm making off of all of this is my viewers, subscriptions, you know, likes. That's pretty much it, you know. And I'm not doing it for that. That's just what I'm getting out of it. You know, I'm doing it because I enjoy sitting at the computer for, you know, 8 hours and coming up with this really righteous video to put on YouTube, and then sharing it with as many people as possible. You know, when I see how many views are on one of my videos, I don't sit there like Scrooge counting my coins. I think, wow, this many people have decided to partake in my weirdness and check out my creative side. That's it. You know, somebody finds my stuff interesting. You know, that's it. That's you know, nuts and bolts of it. Oh, that's awful. I gotta heat this up. Ow! Well, I guess at some point I could get another half a cup of coffee or something. But no wedgie, no wedgie. No wedgie. Besides modern underwear, I don't know. They're just all weird. They slide down, they ride up, they go sideways. I don't know. Maybe I'll try out some of those new weird, since everything's just new and weird, you know. I don't know. There's some of those new weird underwear. I think my brother said he bought a pair. Yeah. Duluth Trading Company. I think they make underwear. I think I'll try out some of their stuff. Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, like all the way through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and up until they went out of business, I did all of my clothes shopping at Mervyn's. That was it. I was a Mervyn's man. I would go to Mervyn's. My grandmother used to take us to Mervyn's. She had a Mervyn's card, JCPenney card, a Sears card. She had every card in the book. She would go through and say, okay, I got money on this card. Let's go. And she'd take us in and she'd buy us socks and underwear and sweaters, Brute cologne, just, you know, funny grandma stuff. The funny, weird sweaters were always, you know, everybody back in the 80s had somebody in their lives that bought them a weird freaking sweater. And with us, it was my grandma. So we'd go to Mervyn's. So in the 70s and then a little bit in the 80s. And then as I got older, I would just start shopping at Mervyn's because that's where I knew to buy my jeans, my Levi's or my Wranglers. And I liked the Levi's shirts, the button-up shirts. I still have one Levi's button-up shirt that I bought from Mervyn's 25 years ago. Right? I still have one Mervyn's shirt. Wow, I didn't realize that until just now. It's my red collared long sleeve button up with a pocket. If you see my my 5-minute trailer, it's about 5 minutes long. If you see that trailer, I'm wearing that red shirt in that trailer with my black leather NASA vest, Budweiser NASA vest. Well, there's a little tidbit of trivia there for you to partake. A little partake there for you. Yeah, am I still heard? Yeah, I'm still heard. Like a bird. Bird. Yeah, good old bird. There was this woman at at Sunday's open mic at Joshua Tree Saloon. And she, for the first acts, she was out in front of the stage dancing. As soon as I saw her, I instantly felt that I was at a Dead show. I was at a Grateful Dead show because she was out there, and you could see the music in her. And she wasn't so much dancing as she was riding a wave of music, right? Which is they called them spinners, or they called them spinners at Grateful Dead shows. And they were just people who were out there, and they were just kind of, sometimes they just spin around in circles. Sometimes their hands would take them in weird places, and they would just kind of, and they were all over the place. I've known a few spinners, and this lady was a spinner. And at afar, I got a glance of her, and she reminded me of my friend's longtime partner, girlfriend, Shannon, who has since passed away. And it totally reminded me of her, And then later on, I went and sat next to her, and I totally got that vibe off of her, that this woman had been to a lot of Dead shows, and she didn't stop dancing and sit down until it was her time to get up on stage. When it was her time to get up on stage, she stopped dancing. She went over and she got her, what do they call those things? Harpsichord. It's a thing with a bunch of strings on it, and it's got some little buttons to push, and you strum on it and you push the buttons to make your chords, right? She was phenomenal on that thing. Not only was she really good on that, she had a voice like an angel. I mean, she would hit these highs. She did Danny Boy. I was St. Patty's Day. She did Oh Danny Boy, and it was beautiful. We were outside, and she raised the roof off the place. I was amazed. After a while, I came down to sit next to her to record the Tommy Tom show. I was live, actually, and my friend. It was a horrible day to record. I had a lousy signal. Everything's all glitchy. But yeah, she was. I'll probably see her again. She's a rig well. I'm not opposed to having, any kind of music or people on my show. I'll take anybody, at this point with me, like I said, it's the adventure of getting to know somebody new, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So yeah, I'm gonna do this here bong hit. This there bong hit. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this wave that I'm riding. My friend Roy, my new friend Roy, is riding a wave right now with his music and the way his life's going. So that's pretty cool, old dogs can learn new tricks. I'm learning every day something new about myself. I didn't know that I liked that. I didn't know that I could be that accepting of people who are so unlike me. I didn't know that I enjoy sitting next to strangers, feeling music. It's a communal experience when you're at a small venue, even a large venue. It's more personal when it's a small venue, but nonetheless, it's pretty awesome. So let's see. No comments, and I'm my only viewer. Let's see. What did I have going on this week that I needed to talk about? Let's see. Tomorrow is Old Time Radio Wednesday. I'm not quite sure what we're going to have on. It's probably going to be another science fiction cassette, if I can dig up more from my science fiction cassette collection. I also have my old computer, and my old computer hard drive, if I look through one of these hard drives, I might be able to dig up some sound files from my X-1 collection. I had an iPod back in the early 2000s, and I had it filled with a bunch of stuff, and I used to sync it and load it and stuff with my computer. So I've still got taking that was 3 or 4 computers ago, and I've at some point I went back and I pulled all the important files off of those computers, or at least 3 of them, and saved much of the stuff on the hard drive, mainly because of the photos. I wasn't willing to give up all the photos that my wife and I had taken over, the almost 25, well, over 25 years that we've been together. We've been married 24 and a half years. So, a lot of people will just delete and move on and delete and move on, or upload shit or lose their phones, or just have to give up a lot of data, and I can't, I'm a data hoarder, when it comes to photos. I've probably got, between photos and videos, I've probably got over 100,000 elements. Got to be more than that. Also, I'm one from multiple photos. I won't just snap off one photo of something and move on. I usually like to hammer that thing down a bunch of times and, try a bunch of different angles, or try to get a bunch of different faces, reactions. So my wife will go through, she'll take a couple of photos and then she'll delete and save. And it's like, no, don't delete, stop deleting. Well, I don't have, then give me your phone and I'll upload it and take everything off your phone. So now I've got it to where she either takes only the photos she wants or saves the ones that somebody would normally delete. And then I'll later on, I can take it and say, oh, you know what, you're right, that one's crap. Let's delete it, but I can usually find a little bit of something, in anything. Like that photo that David showed me. Look, there's this wall, and then I see his shadow, and his shadow on that wall in that room with the desert and the windows. And that shadow said it all right there, And he uploaded that photo to Facebook, and I'm like, right on. We need to revisit that whole thing there, and I'm going to get one of those little tripods with the phone attachment, so that especially for these open mic events, I can set up my camera and do it right, I'm going to hit this window because the sunlight is just, it gets to that point in the morning where it just starts scorching my eyeballs, and then I cannot concentrate. Oh, ow. Oh, ow. Old bones, man. Yeah, so we'll do old time radio tomorrow. In fact, let me grab my Post-its. I got a stack of a little Post-it pad for my daughter, and I just about burned through it already. So let me, pardon me, let me think about getting some science fiction cassettes. Let me find my cassette collection. Radio show cassette collection. And let me find those guys so that I have ways of bringing more stuff to you. All of these things can be found on YouTube and uploaded for free on various websites. So I'm assuming there's not going to be any problem. I think what I'll do is I'll check the Internet Archive, and maybe I can find some of this stuff there if I can't find it on my hard drive here, because I still have 2 or 3 laptops from the past and an actual desktop that I built back in '99. So I've still got that around, and I've got those hard drives in there. And there's the little device that you can buy where you can USB plug it into your computer and then just plug in hard drives, right? And access those hard drives. So that is one of those things that I may have to look into. But I'm going to need more processing power. I'm going to need a bigger computer for that kind of crap. And I'm just not into spending the money on something that's pretty much a hobby. You know, a lot of the photographs that we have stored in a lot of this hard drive situation here, a lot of these photographs and videos, I'm going to be able to use to upload for content. I'm just about ready to hit the 100 video mark, right, of mostly original content. Aside from some concert footage and music stuff, it's pretty much original content, right? So most of it's my live stuff. But I've been on average uploading a crafted video every day on average. And I've got a lot of stuff to create videos out of. I'm going to have to sit and go through my computer again after the show and organize things, clean up my hard drive a little bit, reboot it, and then see if I can get some speed out of this thing. Try to get a faster editing process here. Because at this point, I mean, I'm ready to just run screaming with the little tax refund we get, and just go get a computer or order one, and then just make payments on it. And that might be the best thing to do, is just to order a computer, and then get insurance on it. So then that way I can, and I've had to do that before. I got one computer and then it would turn out to be crap, and I had to send it back. And I believe they sent me a new computer, and I had to start over again. But I had just gotten into it and found that this computer was just garbage. But because I had bought or it was still under warranty. Yeah. But I got no trouble with going to Walmart or Best Buy or someplace and just getting a good computer online at any of these places. It's not about the name brand; it's about the functionality and the speed and that kind of stuff. And so if I get it, I don't need the newest, hottest looking working thing. I just need something basic to do what I need to do. Just like I need a vehicle that just runs. I just need a computer that just does what it's supposed to. And I think because of the age of my computer, that's where I'm having trouble with this YouTube connection. Everything's out of date, and I haven't upgraded from Windows 10 to Windows 11 because I don't want to learn a new program thing, and I don't want to lose the programs that I have now with Windows 10. So it's like I want to keep this one doing what it does, but it's just so slow now that I need to get rid of a bunch of crap off of it. It's like, if I don't need this, I'm getting rid of it. If I don't need this, I'm getting rid of it. All right, can you hear the birds? The birds are awake. Yeah, all I hear is that damn bong. Hello.
Yeah.
And there I am. Gassy. So one thing I know is that in between whatever it is that I'm doing, I need to play the guitar more and sing more so that I get used to doing that every day. You know, I need to keep my fingers in playing condition. And while most of the calluses that were started as blisters have blistered again and calloused again and feel like they have blisters underneath, and while all of that has gone on, the arthritis still remains. But if I can just keep it up, at some point in the third or fourth hour during the morning shows, I may or may not play some live music. I like to on occasion when I'm feeling it. Usually I'm pretty beat up in the morning because I've had like 2 hours sleep. So, yeah. Wow. I'm still just riding a wave, man. I don't know where it's going to take me next. Probably the dentist. Probably get all my teeth pulled. Won't that be fun? That'll make for a hell of a morning show, right? Old Gummer. Yeah, I don't know how that'll play out, but that's probably going to happen at some point. Yeah. Getting old. For the most part, I don't mind it. I started getting most of this pain before I even thought about getting old. And then living 12, 13 years in chronic pain, 24/7, 365. Yeah, ugh. Boy. Anyway, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there, man. But I'm used to it. I'm used to the pain. And that's the main thing. That I never escape the pain. I just, the pain's always there. The pot especially just helps me kind of separate myself from the pain so that I'm not encumbered by the pain. I'm not bothered by the pain so much. Yeah, it's there. It's always going to be there. For the rest of my life, it's going to be there. The trash man. So, you know what? It is what it is. What are you going to do? What the hell are you going to do? I know people who've got it a whole lot worse, right? I'm lucky that I can function. Functioning is not my issue. It's the pain that goes along with functioning. If I do too much of one thing repetitively or too strenuous, then it just tears me up. I.e. the things that I've got to do around my home here to keep it from falling apart. I just can't get into it most of the time. I can't even think about it. We have plans for starting some projects right away. The outside needs to be painted so that we fit in better in our little community here. People are starting to paint, clean up, and the place is starting to look really good. So I want our place to reflect that as well. Everybody's bringing their property values up. We don't want to hold that back. In fact, we want our property value to come up. We bought this place for a couple of $1,000, and literally, if I can do the things that I need to do to it and want to do and have plans to do, we can get, a couple of $1,000 plus $100,000. So we can like totally, make our investment grow. Because property values around here have just excelled because of the Airbnb thing and all of the properties being refurbished and rebuilt, and little tiny places turning into really elegant places. So, even mobile homes and mobile home parks, uh, if it's done right and there's a really good community built within, then you can get a really good price for a mobile home, just a mobile home, right? Stick houses go for, out here, stick houses right now are going for $500,000. 2, 3 bedroom, and we've got a 2 bedroom mobile. It's not great, but it's a corner lot. It's got a nice, hi trash man, hi trash man. He's taking too long, man. Yeah, you know what it is. There's a tight corner in front of my place, and then there's an upper drive. And sometimes they like to cut this corner. Sometimes they don't want to go the upper because there's this big tree here that they never trim. So there you go. There's that. There's that. Uh, but yeah, where the hell was I? I don't know. The trash man always gets me sidetracked. Um, but property values up here are changing and changing and changing. We have one of these places that we clean over here, and they sold their place, and we got grandfathered in as the caretakers, mainly because we just kick ass at what we do. We care about the houses that we take care of, as if they were our own, and then we try to care about the owners of these properties as if they are family friends, right? So, and that makes it really easy to do things right, right? So, yeah, I mean, once again, you know, courtesy, kindness. Um, it's not about doing a job. It's about making a connection, that goes beyond the wage, going beyond, you go to a lot of places and it's like, yeah, we're a family business and we treat our employees as if they're family until something happens and they can get rid of you, which is, if that's how they treat family, don't even say that shit, right? So, yeah, there you go. I love my coffee cups. I'm not one for collecting stuff, and that I say that humorously, looking around me, surrounded by all these things I've collected. But I was never into collecting, groups of things. I got to have a collection of these and a collection of that, those, and this and that. When I started getting coffee cups, I bought a Starbucks, metal Starbucks coffee cup, and I'll have to dig it up out of a box somewhere. And then for work, basically, and driving and stuff. And then my wife and I went to Disneyland, and we were poking around through the Disney store, the main street, the big one with all the stuff. And I saw really cool, I don't even remember what the first one was that I got, was just a really cool Eeyore coffee cup, you know, and I was really into Eeyore. I still am because of the depressive nature and the old bother. I'll have to bring out my Eeyore jacket at some point to show you all. So I bought this one coffee cup, and then we would go to the mall. You know, this is back when my wife and I first married and were dating and stuff. And we'd go to the mall, you know, all the time because we love to go out and do stuff. And we'd stop by the Disney store, and then if I found a new cup and I had a few bucks, I'd buy a new cup. And I probably only bought, you know, gosh, maybe I have more than I think, you know, 8, 10, 12 Eeyore related coffee cups. But that and the need for props and the love of props prompted me to buy more coffee mugs. Just like the t-shirts, my thinking were, all right, well, if I'm going to do a repetitive show on, hey, good morning, everyone, or good evening. If I'm going to do a repetitive show on YouTube, then, you know, I want to have, you know, a different shirt to wear every show. I'm going to want to have a different coffee cup to be drinking. You know, I'm going to want to have all these cool little elements, you know. So the morning show being a different creature than my videos, you just probably see that more. But if you do watch any of my real videos, my edited videos and stuff, you know, I try to wear a different shirt for every single video that I'm doing, because when I was a kid, I wore the same shirt all the time. When I was a little kid, we didn't have shit for money. I wore dirty clothes. I wore the same dirty, grubby shirt all the time, or no shirt, no shoes, no socks, you know, old chewed up pair of corduroys or jeans or something, you know. So, you know, maybe it's one of those vanity things, or, you know, it's a character flaw that I don't want to look at my videos and see me wearing the same thing all the time, you know, because that's how I was seen when I was a little kid. But I really enjoy picking out shirts. Everywhere I go now, it's like, ooh, I want that shirt. You know, my daughter will say, don't get a shirt. Oh, he's going to get a shirt. He got a shirt. Concert shirts are my big things. I really enjoy not only seeing the artist, but coming home with a new shirt. It's one of my big kicks, you know. On occasion, I will wear the same shirts, a shirt that I've worn before on the morning show or on a live show. And it's only because that shirt is reflecting, you know, what's going on in my life at that point. Like, you know, I don't like mornings or people, right? That's one that I'll wear a lot. I don't give a rat's ass. I'll wear that one a lot. I wore the Lucas Nelson shirt a couple of times because, you know, I was going to Lucas Nelson, and it's like, hey, I got to talk about this. But yeah, I try to have shirts that not only fit my mood, but fit whatever's going on in my life or the show. My Irish shirt that I wore yesterday, my green St. Patty's Day shirt from 1982. I only get to wear that one once a year. So I wore it Sunday and I wore it Monday because I wanted to share it. This is my new shirt from my daughter. She got this at open house at the University of San Bernardino. And I'm happy to wear this one because she is a coyote now, or a coyote. And oh, I'm so proud of her. We've got a concert coming up soon that she and I are going to be going to. It's still a couple of months away, but I'm really excited about seeing the Motion City soundtrack I just found out about them recently. She's always throwing different stuff at me. Of course, I think this is their 20-year concert, which shows you how much I've been out of music. Back in 1995-ish, I just turned off the radio and stopped listening to music, stopped playing music, just got over it. Right? It's like I was dead inside. And it turns out that's where her musical interests start back in 95. So she's been taking me back and saying, hey, what about this? You heard about these guys? What about these guys? And that's really neat. I never knew about the 1975, and they've been around for quite a long time, and she's taken me to see them 3 times now. We saw them at the Forum at their very best. We saw them at the Hollywood Bowl, still at their very best. And then she just recently took her mom and I to see them at the Honda Center for the iHeartRadio thing that was going on. So it was like, wow. I just got some concert footage from her on this thumb drive from that first show that we went to at the Forum. So be sure to watch my channel for some upcoming videos that I'll put together. And like I said, it takes a little while because I'm not just going to take the footage and chop it up and then throw it on. I've got to put some elements around it. I've got to make it a full production because for me, I owe the artist that respect to say, hey, look, I enjoyed your stuff so much that I'm going to take my concert footage and make a little music video out of it for us to enjoy and you to enjoy. And I made one for from some footage out at Pappy and Harriet's here locally, a band called Big Sandy and his Fly Right Boys. And they do rockabilly music. And I recorded them doing a Farron Young song, Face to the Wall. And I created this fan music video, right? And I just had a phenomenal shot of them from the side. And he had relatives sitting next to me, so he kept turning to face the camera, which was perfect. And if you get a chance, go onto my channel and watch that video with Face to the Wall with Big Sandy and his Fly Right Boys. And I aged the video and put in a bunch of older elements and offset the sound a little bit. So it looks like I wanted to create it like it was lost footage because he has such an aged look. The whole band, they have this 1950s look, feel. And it's just awesome. And then after the show, I ran outside and caught Big Sandy at the back door and got a hug from him and actually talked to him and had my wife take photographs. And I put that at the end of the video. And long story, long, I actually put a link to the video on Big Sandy's page in one of the comments of one of his posts, and he actually viewed it and loved it and thanked me for it. And that right there is why I enjoy making these videos, not just for me, not just for my daughter and for her friends and my friends and the YouTube viewers, but on occasion somebody involved will actually say, hey, I like that, and that's pretty friggin' cool. I dig that. There's another human connection that I can make. I try to build this show as the only true reality show out there. This whole channel, everything about it is as real as I can, get. I'm an open book. My life is here. I'm here to get to know you. You're there to get to me. Ask me anything. You want some advice from some old fart? It might just be time for me to make some make another half a cup of coffee here and here. because woo, I sure love coffee in the morning. Let's see, it's just about 8 a.m. here, Pacific Standard Time. It is the 19th of March. For those of you watching this in a playlist later. And this is part 2 of this morning's show. This morning's show was interrupted by technical difficulties. And I had to actually set up a new live stream to come back to you. And I can't see my sound meter is not wobbling, which most of the time I have no clue if I'm being heard.
Most of the time I have no clue.
So I'll turn my phone up so I can hear. I hope there's no feedback loop happening right now. And if there was, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I did that. That was me. That's my bad.
But yeah, it's been a phenomenal 3 weeks now. It just keeps going and going and going. And I was doing my taxes 3 weeks ago at the end of the month. God, has it really been? Yeah, it's been almost 3 weeks. No, it's been over 3 weeks, right? Pardon me. So doing my taxes, and the tax lady is like, man, I just want this month to be over with. It's just every single day has just been another sucky day. And I'm like, really? I don't want this month to end, you know? And it had already been a week, a phenomenal week. And it it's got to been like 4 weeks now that it's just been going and going and going and going. Right. And I don't know. I just got this momentum that's happening, you know. I was able to link up with a couple of more artists last night at open mic. And that was neat. My friend David is urging me to bring Bush on the show. And, you know, you don't have to ask me twice. You know, he's a really cool dude. Great guitar player, songwriter, sign writer. He stands out on the corner with cardboard sign, you know. And I was just thinking on the way home the other night, I'm going to get some cardboard and make a sign and stick it in my van. So if I happen to pass by that corner and see him standing out there, if he's holding the right sign, then I'll park and get out there and hold my sign, right? And mine will just say ditto. And I'll just stand behind him off to the side, ditto, whatever he says, you know. Yeah, he's in charge of doing open mic night out at Giant Rock, the Giant Rock meeting room. So he did this second night last night, my first night with him in charge as the MC. And it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I'm sure that we're going to get more and more people out there to check his thing out. I think most of the people last night who were out watching were probably just people who showed up to eat something or drove by and saw something. There were probably about 6 or 7, maybe a little bit more, artists who got up and did stuff. But yeah, it was pretty neat. That whole rocket thing going up in the sky. And yeah, I looked, it was a SpaceX taking up 22 Starlink satellites last night. And you could see the stages burning off, and then the next stage igniting, and then it would go off across the sky again, and then another stage would burn and fall off, and then it would ignite again and just keep shooting off. And at one point you saw one of the stages fall glowing white and then turned red and then disappeared. It was pretty cool. And one of the guys who was up there singing, DW, he was up there singing, and he actually worked in the rockets and stuff in the sky into his song. And it was pretty cool. It was, you know, woo, everybody was hooting and hollering. So that was neat that, you know, we get that whole communal feeling with everybody hanging out, doing the same thing, feeling the same emotions about the music and what's going on, and it's another reason why I love to go out and do these things. And it's a small area where these places are at. These are not overly populated area. They're half locals and half tourists. And most of that half that are tourists are usually brought in by some of the locals who are like, hey man, while you're here, you got to check this out, and it's pretty cool. And you got a lot of tourists, right? People who are just out here hanging out, staying for a week or whatever, and they hear word of mouth, look, you got to go to this club and you got to go to this bar or this little hole in the wall, and you got to check out their live open mic night, and you get people from like New York. There was this lady who came out, she was staying, and she came to open mic at the Spag West, and she did some great stuff with Andy Hoberman, who is a great artist in his own right, but she was doing this stuff that you would have heard back in the 60s in Greenwich Village, New York, right? Hippie stuff. And at open mic Sunday, there was another lady there who was singing the same songs that she sung back when she was 20 years old, right? On the same guitar, on the same chords. And you could tell that she was totally from, New Mexico, Greenwich Village, San Francisco, Berkeley. She had spent time in these places, and you could hear that in her music and her lyrics. That old hippie folk singing stuff. But I sing a lot of that weird folksy crap, but then again, my musical interests are all over the map. So when I sit down to fiddle and screw around on my guitar and try to come up with some kind of song, that's usually all over the map, and the songs sound so completely different. Completely different. A lot of my songs have a little bit of a country western twang to them, but they're not all the same. They're different in their elements, Yes, I'm just riding this wave, just riding. Keep them doggies riding, roll high. Well, unfortunately, that does it for my coffee. So I may actually have to get up and make some more. Of course, if I make more coffee out of the pot, that's going to leave less for my wife. I do make a little bit extra in case I want some. So, and in the morning lately, there's been a little bit left over. So I think I'll take a little bit more and mix up a little bit more coffee. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm not going to mute anything because things got weird enough already this morning, and I can't even tell if I'm being heard until I listen to myself on my phone. Is that ridiculous? So don't go away. I'm just going to heat up some more coffee. Yeah, you know what I need is a radio show. That's what I need. I need a radio show. if I had my own radio show, then I could actually share with you some of this music around me. I could do it here live, and it would probably pass live, but once it got into the playlist, it would be muted because it would have copyright stuff. I was actually thinking about getting a small FM or AM transmitter, right? And putting it on top of my van, and then driving my van to various locations and doing a pirate radio, like that Christian Slater movie, Pump Up the Volume, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Just set up a little DJ thing in my van. And nowadays it would be real easy because I could put everything onto a little, onto my computer or something and just set up and hit buttons, or I could do it, a little more old school style and set up a little DJ booth in my van, right? And that would be more fun, right? If you could go park somewhere and have a box of records, some cassettes, some 8-tracks, a little reel-to-reel, and sit and, or maybe edit your stuff at home onto reel-to-reel and then just take a reel, right? And have that setting in there and your transmitter and a little computer for other stuff. And that would be cool too. I could really get into that. Otherwise, past that, you're looking at, a little TV transmitter, because nowadays everybody's on digital signals and nobody's using the UHF and VHF signals anymore, right? You got some cities are required still by FFA law to have that signal going out, but they're not required to have it go out any further than their area now, and everything else goes out digitally, right? I mean, everybody gets their signals freaking Wi-Fi now. But I better stir this up. Yummy, yummy. I'm really bummed that commercial that I made got pulled off of YouTube. I understand why, but it was just so good. So, I mean, I was even going to use it as an element in one of my taped programs as a commercial, and that would have been neat. Because, like I said, I'm not doing this for monetary gain or capitalist greed or anything. I'm just doing this. All of this is a hobby. Every single step of this thing has just been so that I can take all of this crap that I got and share it. Right? It's a hobby. It's a fun hobby. It's not real expensive because all of this crap is old and nobody wants it. So I got it all pretty cheap, swap meets, yard sales, thrift shops, that kind of crap. $1 here, $5 there. But once I've fixed it up and it works like new, and it's been repurposed, rehomed, then it has a new life. And I've got quite a few stereos out there. I've probably got a dozen or more stereos that need little bits of repair here and there. But one of my thoughts has always been to do some kind of a drawing and give away one of these stereos, preferably to someone in the northern continental area, so that it's easy on shipping. More than likely, it would be a realistic Radio Shack clarinet unit, because those are pretty lightweight and I could package it really safe. My thought process leads me to think, okay, well, if I can get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a drawing and I'm going to give away some little knickknacks, some little bits and baubles and stuff that I can put into a small envelope or package, right? Something that's not going to break, something that's got retro or vintage, something related to Southern California stuff, that kind of thing. And that's, and then as I get to like 500 subscribers, then I'll take like a similar package crafted for that particular person, whoever wins the drawing, and then add something to that, something more. And then at 1,000 subscribers, add something else to that package, and then just kind of get bigger. And so that when I get to like 5,000 or 10,000, if that ever happens, I would be giving away something like an all-in-one stereo. So that would be a turntable, an 8-track player, a cassette player, and AM/FM radio, right? So it's going to play just about anything, right? And along with that, a set of speakers, vintage speakers, an assortment of LPs to play, an assortment of 8 tracks to play, an assortment of cassette to play, because I want to share not only my interests, but I want to share the past. I want to share these things that I have, and it's gonna literally cost me a pittance to get these things functioning, and then to just hand select a few things that I probably have copies of anyway, right? And then put together something that fits a particular person, curate a gift package for a subscriber, and I don't know how I'm going to go about the whole idea behind giving this to someone, whether there's going to be a drawing or a raffle, or you have to sign up for something, go here and sign up and register, and then watch on this day at this time, that kind of a thing. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know that I've got just a ton of shit that I want to give away, just a ton of it, right? Make sure my sound's working. But yeah, I mean, and I would get such a kick out of somebody sending me a photo or a video of them at home enjoying one of these gifts, or wearing a shirt, or drinking out of a coffee mug or something. Hey, look, we got the same mug. I've gone out and bought copies of little mugs, right? A little double set. And my intention is to buy little sets of mugs. So at some point I can send a viewer, a subscriber, a mug, and then we can have the same mug in the morning, right? I mean, it sounds pretty cheesy, right? That's the kind of guy I am. It is crazy old weird bearded guy, okay? Just to let you know, I'm weird. Oh, that's good stuff. So, yeah, I'm crazy, I'm weird, I'm old. It's obvious I'm bearded. If I could take the beard and move it around and put it up top here, I'd have a great head of hair. But that ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work, dude. It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, my daughter's a coyote. She's going to CSUSB, and she's studging. She's going to be learned and smart like her pa. 'Cause I is an intelligent personage. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I know that I'm viewing myself. So there's one viewer up there that's me, but there's also one viewer up there who's not me. Unless YouTube is screwed up again and I got a double thing going on here. But I'm pretty sure there's somebody's watching. There's a fly on the wall. I hear a buzzing. I also hear my dog over there sleeping and breathing through her squeaky nose. I should mic that. That's hilarious. Anyway, if you want to send me a message, we could chat, and you could ask me a question. You could ask me a question about anything behind me. I used to do the word of the day, but I tried that out for a while. But it was like a go-between of me and myself and I. And lately, I've had so much else going on that I completely forget about all of the things that I, plan to do, but at the same time, my favorite word for these shows is organic. So I don't really plan on any of this. On occasion, I'll pick up a guitar and strum and do a little singing. I'm just not into that every day, especially real early in the morning. For me, it's early in the morning. It's a little after 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because I am on the West Coast. And I am Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy, and this is mornings. I'm here Monday through Thursday from 5 a.m. to whenever the hell I feel like it, or when YouTube decides to give me technical difficulties. On occasion, I will go live from some remote place somewhere. Sometimes, lately it's been from open mic stuff, and I've just started learning how to do the live thing on YouTube. I did it once or twice on Facebook, but you do that and then it's pretty much gone because it's so far back in your feed. Nobody wants to go back and look at crap that's from a year ago, and then it pops up in your memories. Do you remember this? But other than that, live stuff on Facebook is kind of like anticlimactic. I get a better kick out of the reels on Facebook, like the shorts on YouTube. That's cool because I can just share a moment, of what's going on, and that's fun. Little snippets of life. And like I said, this is the only real, true reality show channel videos. I mean, everything that I do comes out of me, and everything that you see is real. I don't, I'm not some perfectly crafted videos live. It's just, this is not that. The birds are outside clacking around on the little awning out there, making little noises, and they're quite distracting. And then I got Big Dog over here just sawing logs. Sheesh. And of course you guys probably can't hear any of that, but that's cool. Mm-hmm. So my daughter's got spring break coming up here, and I'm not sure what her plans are. I know that she's looking to get some more concert tickets tomorrow. She's hoping to get a code for pre-sale, or to be in a line or a queue or something. However, the kids do it on the apps these days. Yeah. Who knows what app stands for, right? APP, app. Anybody? Probably most of the people who use apps don't know that app stands for application. It's an application. It's an internal device, software application. I hear a vehicle. Somebody picking somebody up for work, right? You get some carpooling out there in the desert. Yeah, night in the desert, man. It got a little chilly last night. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I didn't see much of it because I was stuck in here for the first part of it. And then for the second part of it, I was stuck in here getting things ready for my my meeting with David. And then we had a fantastic meeting for, I don't know, 1.5, 2 hours. We just sat and talked videos and music and played music and recorded music. And I record when I record music and stuff, I try to use the video element as well. so that when I'm editing stuff together, I have the option of not just having sound, but having video. And that's, for YouTube, that's important. I'm probably, other than working with David, I'm probably never going to get the chance to record my stuff in a studio professionally, like for an album, right? Just audio. So I'm not worried, about the standalone sound. I'm more interested in capturing that moment, creating that sound, which is why I like the cameras to be on when I'm sitting here with the mics and the headphone and everything. Because I'm saving that moment, like I've said, for the most part, this channel and these videos and everything are for my daughter, my wife and my daughter, because at some point I'm going to be gone, and these videos will remain, whether they're on YouTube or on a hard drive or recorded onto VHS or DVD. She'll have these this collection of my stuff, just like my father passed on to me when he left. He gave me all of his big giant old videotapes that he created back at university in San Diego back in the late 70s, early 80s. So it's along with the other little weird things and the important things that I'm leaving to my daughter, it's these things, the catalog of family photographs, the catalog of family movies, all of the important history, not just 100 novelty t-shirts and concert t-shirts that she can wear for the rest of her life, sleeping, and then I'm always with her when she's all cuddled up in her bed with her little teddy bear. Then she can put on one of my shirts and we can have that connection still, pop me on the whatever visual device they're using in 20 or 30 years and watch me, or just put me on and listen to me and go to sleep, because I'll you can watch a couple of shows and that's enough time to get some sleep. I mean, if you watch 2 back-to-back 4-hour shows, there's your I'm talking the whole night while you're sleeping. So there you go, there's that. And that's that, and the hobby of making music and making videos and doing the combination and exploring the music scene and having all of this, the record of all of these fun things with my daughter and my wife. That's what this is about more than anything else. So you're just going to sit there and you're going to watch, but you're not going to tell me who you are, not going to leave a comment. Give me a like, and then I know you're there. You can take it away if you want, but you can give me a like. Put a thumb up and a thumb down, a thumb up, thumb down, and then I know that there's actually somebody. Or did you put me on and go to sleep? Is this Krim again? Did Krim put me on and go to sleep? And Viced says that you're famous for that. Or is this in Viced and you're doing homework or something? I mean, it's cool. I understand. Sometimes I watch and I just want to watch. I don't want to get involved. And that's cool. I get it, man. I totally get it. Like, for sure, he gets it. I totally understand. And Marge, you're using the weird voices again. Leave him alone, Harry. Oh, coffee. Coffee. Well, my daughter keeps taking me out to so many concerts. It's like I feel like there should be one coming up soon, right? But, from what I see, we don't have anything coming up until April. And then she's going to, her and Charlie are going to, I don't know how, but they found me. And then nothing until June. and then 2 concerts in June, right? We've got 1 concert set up for August. She's trying to set up another one. So we may have 2 concerts in August, one before my birthday and one after my birthday. And that would be awesome. I don't really have too much hoopla and fanfare around my birthday, mainly because I never got it when I was young. So, I'm not going to break with tradition. So I don't require much on my birthday. I think the funnest birthday party I ever had for myself, I threw for myself up in the mountains at a campground and invited like a half dozen of my friends. And that was it. That was the only birthday party that I ever had for me personally. I share the same birthday as my brother, so most of my birthdays were shared birthdays growing up. So I never really had a day of my own, right? And then as I got older, no one ever threw me a birthday party. Hey, let's have a birthday party for Mike. No. There was another guy, Ed, from back in Elsinore. Hi, Ed, if you're out there. He and I, we share the same, I and my brother, we share the same birthday. So there was one year where I went to his house on his birthday, and it still wasn't my birthday party. But yeah, I've never had a birthday party. So I'm not going to break with tradition. The only thing I require at birthday time is a chocolate cake. I like a really big, dark, chocolatey, triple chocolate cake. Fudge frosting, dark chocolate cake, moist, chocolate sprinkles. I mean, just chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. That's the only thing that I really want on my birthday, is that indulgence, and to spend that day with my wife and daughter. That's it. I can't, if I have that on my birthday, I can't ask for anything more. I really can't, and I don't want any more. That's it. That's perfect. You can't mess with success, right? That's perfect. So, yeah, going to a concert before my birthday and then going to a concert after my birthday within 10, right? That's going to be like the best birthday ever, but it's like every time I turn around, my wife and daughter keep making the best better, right? It's like, okay, this is the best it can ever get. And then all of a sudden it goes to this level. And now, well, how could it possibly get any better than this? And then it goes to this level. It's like, well, what the hell, what's going on here? Or the very few friends that I have, right? I mean, I literally have so few friends. I can count them on one hand, and that's even if I just count the friend and not the friend's family, right? Just the friend. That's it. And that goes for family as well, because while I do have family, we're not really friends. All right, we're more like acquaintances at this point. Hey, I remember you. Hey, that dude. That's how it feels now. I try to to really put myself into relationships now, but it's like as much as I seem to try with my few family members, I don't really get anywhere, and I feel like I'm just seen as a big boob from the past, so I don't push it. I get it. Everybody else has moved on. I'm that anachronism from the past, so I just, I try not to force the issue. Yeah, it bums me out sometime. And I get sad that, I can't make a connection with those people from my past. But all I got to do is walk by a mirror and I look at me and I go, oh yeah, that's why they see you as this. They don't take the time to see you as who you are. And I hope maybe some people will watch this show on a regular basis, somebody from my past, and actually get to know me and know, that, while I say things, over here, and then come back and say something totally different. It's just the way I feel at that moment. Yeah, I will totally go against something that I said 3 weeks ago, mainly because it's growth, right? I things change so much in my life that I'm changing so much. I've never had this much growth over the 55 years of my life. I've had more growth in the last probably 4 or 5 years since my father passed away. I've had more growth since then, coming to terms with my past and the confusion about who I am, coming to terms with my own mortality, life and death, and who the fuck are we and what does it matter anyway, that kind of thing. So I've had more growth in the last few years than my whole life, right? Not since I was a teenager and I was discovering what it was like to be me. And then, of course, being an adult, putting your head down and saying, well, I'm not allowed to be me. I got to be this guy because that's what they want me to be. In order for me to survive, I got to make that money, which is what we all do. We put away childish things. We put away the person that we are to fit society, to fit in. And I did that, and I did not like it. I was on antidepressants for 10 fucking years because of it. Mainly because, I suffered from depression my entire life, going back to when I was a little kid. But the best time I had through my life was as a teenager, because I could just be me and I didn't have to bottle shit up. But when you get to be an adult and you have that 20 or 30 years where you just got to put your head down, bite your lip, close your eyes and scream and do what they tell you to do, that right there is what put me on antacids and antidepressants, right? It wasn't until I started to live through my daughter and live through her eyes that I started to leave all of that shit behind, and then realize that, I'm telling her one thing, I'm telling her how to live this way, yet here I am going against the grain and doing exactly what society wants of me. And I'm telling her, be a rebel, do your own thing. And then I'm not. And so right back to David telling me the other day that, I'm the only guy that he knows that's living the dream. That's doing what I want to do at all costs, and it don't cost much, it's just a hobby, but it gives me so much, and I hope to share that with others by, making a video for somebody and then giving that. And then I get so much out of that just by them going, wow, man, that is fucking awesome, and I want to get that thumb drive video to my friend for that canceled YouTube video so that he can still have it and use it, and put it on their webpage as their opening commercial, use it however you can use it. If you can still use it, hell yeah. And then I'll find ways to do the things that I do without consequence, right? Because I don't want to do things that are bad. I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to steal someone's creative limelight. I just want to do my thing, and if I can, in doing so, help spotlight somebody else's thing, then that's what more could I ask for? Like I said, I'm just creating these things for myself and for my family and friends. If it goes beyond that, spectacular. If not, I'm still going to have this huge catalog of work that I can set aside, and maybe it'll grow into something else, who knows? I've got so much dead media around here: VHS, reel-to-reel, 8-track, cassette, LPs, just so much of it. It's not like I want to go into having a shop, a store where I sell this stuff, because I don't want to get into buying it and then reselling it. I pick it up for free or buy it for cheap because of that, because it's free or cheap, and then I can tinker with it and fix it up and make it work and use it. I've only had to spend real money on a few of these things because I require them to do specific projects, like this machine down here. All right, I had to buy this machine to play my father's big giant fat video cassettes. So I have to keep this in the front of my thinking, because I really need to upload those friggin' videos, and then deal with those. So there you go. There's that. I'm going to have to run to the little boy's room and go wee-wee. So rather than mute this time, so let me double check here. So rather than mute this time, I'm just going to turn down my slide here, and then I'll be right back. All right, well, I am back, but I am going to be signing off for the day. My day has begun. My wife is awake. The dogs are awake. The house is awake. So I am going to wrap this show up, my two-parter, part 20. I'll have to figure out a way to tie these dual-part episodes together to make it easier to view, or maybe not. Anyways, I'm going to sign off and get started my day. I'm going to first of all try to put my room together here, and then get ready to go out and do a little bit of work so that I can come home and devote some more time to getting one of these projects finished. I guess my first thing is to try to, now that I've got the copy of my song that I'm going to use for the video. I think now it's time to start gathering those elements and putting them together. And I think that's going to mean pulling a lot of stuff off of my computer that I don't use. And I've got to pick and choose wisely because, you can't mess with operation programs or it screws everything up. So I just need to pull off applications. I just need to pull off, things that I don't want. Games. I don't need games. If it takes up more than a gigabyte, I'm yanking it. If I can collect a bunch of things and get a few gigabytes, I'm yanking them. Otherwise, I'm just going to move as much as I can over to my external hard drives here, and just free up as much space as possible, and then reboot the computer a couple of times. And I think tonight is when it goes through its maintenance. So if hopefully that's the case, and I can deal with stuff today, and then tomorrow it'll defragment the hard drive and scan and do all of that stuff and hopefully speed it up a little bit. But like I said, I don't hold out much hope because this is an old processor, an old Microsoft system. So that being said, wish me luck, and I am going to sign off and then get started with some of these projects. I need some food first. Hi, Sam. Clickety, clickety, clickety. Hi, Sam. Come here. No? Come here. Come, Sam. All right, people. You have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Adios, weirdos.